Hey, Crimson Tide fans, and welcome in to our 10th edition here of the Alabama Adapted Athletics Coach Show on BamaAdapted.com. I'm Alex Boothe, joined alongside my partner Spencer Tomsett. Today, we're lucky enough to be joined by the women's wheelchair head coach, Ryan Hynes. Thank you for joining us today, Coach Hynes.
Glad to be here, guys.
So, first off, congrats on a great season so far, Coach. Your team gets to play in Stran-Hardin Arena for the second straight year in nationals. What is it just like being able to play at home in order to defend your national championship?
Yeah, I mean, we're 2 years in a row. We've got a lot of family that came in. A lot of the international girls' families came in early. We have all of our, national girls, all their families are starting to come in. So it's an exciting time. Get that community support, get that family support, and to play on our home court is just a real honor. So we're excited.
And we were talking about this during senior night, how Luke McDowell's family unfortunately couldn't make the travel up for his senior night. I know Coach Oprint's mentioning he was fortunate enough his family to come up. But we were seeing a whole bunch of family members for, I believe it was Louisa Very LaRue, had a whole bunch of people coming over from France. What does that mean to see that perspective of how many people love to come out and support their players for this national tournament?
Yeah, I think it kind of speaks a lot to hopefully what we try to create is that family environment, and everybody's got their extended family.
Yep.
And just to have them at tournaments, have them at nationals, kind of means the world to, I know the athletes themselves, but really to myself and the whole team. So we're excited to have it here and have our folks here to support us and get loud and rowdy.
Obviously, y'all didn't suffer a collegiate loss all season, so therefore you're the one seed here in the national tournament. Just what is it like? What are some of the advantages like getting that first round bye in the nationals tournament?
Yeah, I think it's big because we'll obviously know who we're going to play. Getting that one seed, the 2 and the 3 have to play each other in the semifinal, most likely, is how it's going to break down. So to kind of see who we're going to play is an advantage. But, at the end of the day, we've seen everybody and they've seen us a ton this year. So I think, there's a lot of film out there. On our end, we're just going to, sharpen up what we can, not doing anything crazy, new, different, but really doing what we do as best we can.
Yeah.
Now, you've certainly been in this situation before of having the number 1 seed as well as hosting nationals in that regard. What does the game day look like on Friday? Because the other advantage, you don't play until 6 o'clock in the evening. So what does the normal game day routine look like for Coach Hynes and the women's squad?
Yeah, so we try to keep it pretty normal for any game day for us. So that Friday morning, we're going to do an optional mobility session with Coach Wood in the weight room, which is just really getting up, getting moving, making sure everything's feeling good. Making sure we're not sleeping in until 3 p.m. that day. And then we'll talk about our game plan at 5 p.m., an hour before the game like normal. So normal game day for us, but, as we know, bigger stage, but we're excited about it.
In terms of points per game, you've had 3 reliable scorers all season, and Silberman, Gonzalez, and Moody. Just what is it like having 3 players like that can kind of go get you a basket whenever you go through an offensive drought?
Yeah, I mean, those 3 are awesome because all 3 of them are kind of like on a rotation. You can only have 2 in at a time. Right. And I think all of them are playing their roles really well, scoring when we need it. Like you said, they've been reliable for us all year. So if we do get in a situation we have a stagnant possession, we always know we have a kind of a bailout in one of those 3. But I think Joy's been amazing for us all year, kind of playing that just consistent. A lot of games giving us huge minutes and big points. Does every dirty thing that opens things up for the others, and not to mention our littles that are on the floor all the time. They do a great job for us.
We've talked about all season long of how one of the most impressive things you guys do that it's so hard to duplicate is that full court press, of how you're trying to force 10-second violations as much as possible. What goes into that because we've seen at times where maybe you would go with that strategy, maybe you wouldn't. What goes into that decision of here's when we're going to pressure or here's when we're going to let them go down the floor?
Yeah, I mean, it depends on the lineup we have, right? We've got a couple lineups specifically that we really work on our press with. It's one of those things, do you want to do it for 40 minutes? Probably not, because you're going to be gassed and probably taken away from some of your offense. So you've got to be a little bit strategic with when you're doing it, what lineups you're doing it with. But we feel real confident with a couple lineups running a press if we need to. And
you would just talk about Joy Hazelden. That was actually my next question, just because as a broadcast team, it feels like we're always talking about her being in the right place and making the right play all throughout every single game. Can you just talk about what she means to this team when she's on the court?
Yeah, I mean, she's the straw that stirs the drink, I guess. But, as far as IQ goes, we've got a lot of smart basketball players on this team. Joy's got one of the highest IQs I've ever seen of a player that I've had the, honor to coach. And she just puts herself in the best position to be successful in whatever she's doing. and even more than that, puts her teammates in the best position for them to be successful. So she makes everybody's job so much easier, especially mine.
And not just on the floor, she's also in doctoral school, so on the education side. And that's one of the things we talk about, of how with student athletes there's such a grind and a balance of trying to get all those things. What role do you feel you have in trying to not only enrich them on the court, but enrich them in the classroom?
Yeah, I think, the big part of it is recruiting the right people to bring into the program. And we've got a lot of people that just want to be successful in life as much as in basketball. So I think with that comes, they want to be successful in the classroom. So I think my job is just to make sure that I emphasize how important it is being a student athlete. And we've got a lot of smart girls. Our team GPA has been super impressive the last couple of years, so I'm super proud of them, even more so in the classroom than on the court. So.
Obviously, you have a lot of experience with the recent success, having this first round bye and being the top seed in the Nationals tournament. How has practice been this week? Is it ramped up from normal practice, or is it kind of just like we're sticking to what got us here?
Sticking to what got us here, more so. Like I said, we're not doing any crazy new stuff. It's more about just sharpening up what we've been doing all year and making sure that we're the best at what we're trying to do. So I think from my standpoint, trying to keep things as much the norm as possible, even though we know this is Nationals. We know this is a little bit bigger stage, but we've been here before. We've got a lot of experience on this team. We know what to expect, and hopefully we just go out there and play our game.
And as well, obviously you don't know if you're going to be playing Arizona or Whitewater yet in the semifinals. Can you just speak to what makes each of those teams difficult to play against?
Yeah, I think if it breaks down how it has this year, there's a good chance we'll play Arizona. I think, just speaking on them to start, I think they always come out of the gate really hot. They've got a lot of energy. Well-coached team comes out, and we've got to match their energy. That's the biggest challenge against them. And then Whitewater, again, I think they come out with really good energy too. They're a very talkative crew, so kind of dealing with that, it's just a little change-up from some other teams. So I think just, again, it's really about what we do, not as much about who we're playing even. So if we play our game, we play to our standards, I think we'll be in good shape.
So we went out to Tucson a couple of weeks ago, or almost now 2 months ago, with how fast time flies. And out there, Arizona went up on you guys by almost double digits at that point. And from there, you made adjustments and swapped around. So from your assessment of that, what does the team have to do to make sure that another team doesn't go up early?
Yeah, I think, like I said, we just got to come out and play our game, and respect every opponent, and make sure that we come out with the right intensity, the right energy. And if we do that, we'll be in good shape. We'll match that energy and hopefully exceed it and pull away.
Well, I think that's all the time we have on the show today. Once again, Coach Hynes, thank you for joining us on the show. And thank you, Crimson Tide fans, for joining us all season long on the Alabama Adapted Athletics Coach Show on BamaAdapted.com. Be sure to follow us at Bama Adapted on our social media pages, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, and YouTube, where you're watching right now. And we'd also like to take this time to thank our sponsors, Honey Stinger, for sponsoring the Alabama Adapted Athletics Coaches Show, and many other sponsors for allowing us to do what we do every day here at Alabama Adapted Athletics. Thanks for watching, and Roll Tide.